You wake up feeling tired. You slept 7 or 8 hours, didn't eat anything heavy, didn't party the night before, didn't run a marathon. And yet, your body feels like it has been through war. Your mind is foggy. Your motivation is gone. You don't feel like doing anything. It's not just being tired. It's deeper. It's like something essential in you is missing. You chalk it up to stress or maybe a lack of sleep or overthinking. But deep down you sense something else, something strange. Because this is not a one-time occurrence. It's becoming a pattern. You're being drained. Not just emotionally, not just mentally, but energetically. Here's the shocking truth that no one talks about. Someone is stealing your life force. And they're doing it silently, systematically, and constantly. Right now, as you read this, it's happening. You are being tapped like a battery. But the way they do it is so subtle, so embedded in daily life, that you never even see it. This isn't science fiction or spiritual paranoia. This is real. This is psychological, biological, and metaphysical warfare. And in this series you're going to learn how it's done, who benefits from it, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself before it's too late. But let's start from the beginning. Every human being possesses a certain energetic signature. You've felt it before, even if you didn't realize it. You walk into a room and suddenly feel uplifted. Or you meet someone and feel inexplicably drained. That's not just vibes. That's real, measurable energetic exchange. Your body is an electromagnetic field. Your brain operates on frequencies. Your heart emits a field detectable several feet beyond your body. You are, quite literally, made of vibrating energy. Ancient civilizations knew this. That's why so many cultures developed complex systems to protect, purify, and harness energy. From qi in Chinese medicine to prana in yoga, to rituals of spiritual cleansing in indigenous tribes. They believed that when your life force was strong, you thrived. When it was weakened, you were vulnerable, not just to sickness but to manipulation, misfortune, even madness. Fast forward to the modern world. We've built a society that scoffs at these ancient truths, branding them as superstition or pseudoscience. And yet, we live in an age where people are more exhausted, depressed, anxious, and disconnected than ever before. Coincidence? Or design? Let's look closer. From the moment you wake up, the theft begins. You reach for your phone, exposing your eyes to blue light, shocking your nervous system, and instantly plugging into an avalanche of information, notifications, opinions, arguments, distractions. That one glance at your screen has already set off a cascade of cortisol and dopamine in your brain. Your energy is no longer yours. You've entered the arena. The first thieves are digital. Algorithms engineered to hijack your attention, seduce your emotions, and rewire your brain. But attention isn't free, it's the currency of your energy. Every swipe, every like, every scroll is an energetic transaction. But unlike a fair trade, you never get anything back. You pour yourself into a screen and it keeps asking for more. Then come the emotional vampires. These are not always malicious people. Sometimes they're people you love. But they carry chaos like a perfume. Every time you speak with them, you feel worse, smaller, more confused. They subtly manipulate, guilt-trip, overshare, or dump their problems on you, and you leave the interaction feeling like a deflated balloon. That's not in your imagination. That's energetic transfer. They were empty. You were full. Now they're better, and you're not. And what about the environments you live in? The concrete jungles, the cubicles, the fluorescent lights, the noise pollution, the endless buzz of machines. Do you think your energy isn't affected by all of this? Humans evolved in forests, near rivers, under sunlight and stars. Now we live in boxes, stare at boxes, work inside boxes, and sleep in boxes. We've become domesticated animals in cages of comfort, completely cut off from the very elements that recharge our essence. But perhaps the most insidious form of energy theft comes from something more abstract: your beliefs. From birth, we're fed a narrative of limitation, of fear, of conformity. Work hard, don't ask questions, follow the rules. Be realistic. This is just how the world works. These phrases sound innocent, even wise. But what they do is seal the prison around your potential. They program you to leak energy into systems that do not serve you, jobs you hate, relationships that drain you, patterns of self-sabotage. And who benefits from this massive leakage? Follow the trail. Corporations thrive on your exhaustion. When you're tired, you buy stimulants. When you're unhappy, you consume. When you're anxious, you distract yourself. When you're empty, you seek meaning in brands, status, noise. Governments benefit too. Tired people don't protest. Numb people don't question. Disconnected people don't unite. The world as it's designed doesn't want you radiant. It wants you manageable. And that means dull, distracted, and depleted. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Your energy is your power. When you reclaim it, you become dangerous. When you learn how to protect it, you become sovereign. And when you live aligned with it, your entire reality begins to shift. This isn't about paranoia. It's about awareness. Because the moment you start to see the patterns, you can start to break them. You begin to notice how often you give away your energy, to people who don't deserve it, to apps that manipulate you, to thoughts that poison you. And you start asking the real questions. What happens if I unplug, even just for an hour a day? What happens if I choose who I give my attention to instead of letting it be stolen? What if I spent time in nature, alone, in silence? What would return to me? If you've made it here, it means something in you is already awakening. The spell is breaking. You're starting to see the invisible web spun around your energy field, not with fear but with clarity. Because the truth isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to free you. Let's start with what surrounds you almost 24/7, electromagnetic frequencies, EMFs. They're everywhere. Wi-Fi routers, cell towers, smart meters, your phone, your smartwatch, your laptop. All these devices emit invisible radiation, and while each one may seem small on its own, their cumulative effect is enormous. Multiple peer-reviewed studies have linked prolonged EMF exposure to symptoms like fatigue, headaches, cognitive fog, insomnia, and even cellular damage. But here's the real issue. Your nervous system is electric. Your cells communicate through tiny electrical impulses. Your heart has its own electromagnetic field that interacts with your environment. So when you constantly bathe in artificial frequencies, you're disrupting your internal harmony and draining the very system designed to keep you alive, alert, and aware. Yet most people never question it. We're told it's safe, normal, convenient. But we never asked what it does to the soul. What it does to that ancient, subtle part of us that only thrives in natural rhythms. We've replaced the sun with LED light, birdsongs with ringtones, forests with Bluetooth. But EMFs are only one layer of the assault. The next is far more intimate: what you eat. Let's be brutally honest. The modern diet is a system of sabotage disguised as convenience. Processed foods, refined sugars, artificial dyes, synthetic preservatives. These things don't just affect your weight. They dull your frequency. Ancient traditions viewed food as life force, as vibration. What you ingest becomes part of your energetic field. But today's food is often stripped of any living energy. It's dead, and when you eat it, you slowly begin to feel the same. Refined sugar is a major culprit. It spikes your blood glucose, crashes your energy, fuels inflammation, and distorts mental clarity. It mimics a high, followed by a vacuum, and that's exactly how parasites of the system want you: stimulated, then empty, high then low. Chasing energy outside of yourself instead of learning how to cultivate it within. But let's not forget the psychological weapons. From the moment you're born, you're bathed in fear. The news, the ads, the warnings, the institutions, they tell you the world is dangerous, people can't be trusted, and you must obey to survive. This constant background hum of anxiety isn't accidental. Fear lowers your vibration. It constricts your energy field. It makes you easier to control. A fearful population is a manageable population. When your nervous system is in fight or flight, your higher faculties shut down. Creativity, intuition, discernment, they all dim. And in that dimness, you stop asking questions. You stop feeling your own power. You begin to outsource your authority to systems that promise you safety but steal your sovereignty. So now you're surrounded by EMFs, eating low-vibration food, breathing in polluted air, and being mentally conditioned to fear everything. But there's one more enemy we need to expose, and this one is the most seductive of all: your own unconscious habits. You check your phone before you breathe deeply. You eat before you ask if you're truly hungry. You react before you reflect. You scroll past nature, silence, or discomfort, straight into dopamine-driven distraction. And these habits, repeated daily, build neural pathways that reinforce disconnection. But it's not your fault. These patterns were designed for you, installed by repetition and trauma. The key is not guilt, it's awareness. Because here's where the shift begins. When you realize that the same energy being drained from you can also be reclaimed by you. Oh, not with willpower alone, but by rebuilding your energetic field on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Let's start simple. The first act of energy protection is reconnection with natural elements. Step outside, barefoot on the earth, skin under the sun, ears tuned to birdsong, not podcasts. This isn't just spiritual fluff. Earthing, walking barefoot on natural ground, has been shown to reduce inflammation, balance circadian rhythms, and restore electrical balance in the body. Why? Because the earth emits free electrons, and your body, when grounded, becomes energetically stable. Now contrast that with synthetic environments: rubber soles, carpeted floors, air-conditioned rooms, fluorescent lights. These things may feel comfortable, but energetically, they isolate you from the recharge station you were born to connect with, the planet itself. Then there's your breath. Most people breathe shallowly, unconsciously. But ancient wisdom taught us that breath is the bridge between body and spirit. Deep, rhythmic breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of you designed for healing, clarity, and restoration. Just 5 minutes of intentional breathing per day can restore energy levels more powerfully than coffee ever could. Next is food. No, you don't need to become a monk or eat twigs and berries. But you do need to start noticing what is alive and what is dead. Fresh fruits, vegetables, herbs, sprouted grains, these carry electrical charge. They feed your cells with light. On the other hand, ultra-processed snacks, microwaved meals, and sugar-laden drinks only fill your stomach, not your spirit. And now, the most vital step, protecting your mental space. This is your fortress. Your mind is not just a processing unit. It's an energy field. Thoughts have frequency. Emotions have charge. When you constantly ingest noise, toxic media, chaotic conversations, doom scrolling, gossip, you allow static into your field. That static fragments your focus and lowers your frequency. Instead, begin practicing mental fasting. 1 hour a day of no input, no screens, no noise, just silence. This hour becomes a sacred portal, where your thoughts untangle, your energy resets, and your intuition can actually speak to you. Of course, the moment you begin to reclaim your energy, the system will resist. Your phone will ping. Someone will start drama. Old cravings will flare up. That's because the entities, human or not, that feed on your energy can sense when you're unplugging. And they will try to pull you back. But the resistance is the sign that you're on the right path. You are not just a passive receiver of life. You are a conductor, a generator, a transmitter. Your presence, when charged with clean energy, affects every room you walk into. You inspire others to awaken. That's why your energy was targeted in the first place. Because if you remember who you are, you become ungovernable. So here is the great paradox. They can only steal what you're not aware of. But once you remember, fully, deeply, consistently, your energy becomes your weapon, your compass, and your shield. A knowing. You've begun to see that your fatigue was never just physical. That your confusion was never just mental. That your pain was never just random. It was a signal. A message. A silent cry from your deeper self, begging you to reclaim what was always yours, your life force. By now you understand that the theft of energy is not just a metaphor. It's a reality woven into every layer of your daily existence, through technology, nutrition, emotional entanglements, belief systems, and frequencies that dull your awareness. But there's one layer we haven't touched yet, and it is perhaps the most hidden, the most powerful, and the most feared by those who seek to control you, the spiritual dimension of energy theft. You are not just a physical body. You are not even just a mind with thoughts and memories. You are an energetic structure, and that structure extends far beyond the limits of your skin. What ancient traditions called the aura, modern science is beginning to observe as biophotonic fields, toroidal waves, and electromagnetic emissions from the heart and brain. This field holds your vitality, your emotional residues, your traumas, your intentions, and it is this field that's often infiltrated first. Have you ever felt inexplicably heavy after being in a crowded place? Ever walked into a room and felt a chill down your spine for no reason? That's your energetic field detecting dissonance, disruption, or, in some cases, invisible parasitic attachments. Yes, it's time we talk about them. Just like there are parasites in the physical world, leeches, viruses, worms, there are also energetic parasites. These are not horror movie monsters or imaginary ghosts. They are vibrational entities that feed on low-frequency energy, fear, despair, addiction, rage, and shame. And just like their biological counterparts, they can attach themselves to a weakened host and siphon energy to survive. They don't want you dead. They want you depleted, just enough to stay alive but too weak to fight back. These entities are often attracted during moments of extreme vulnerability, trauma, heartbreak, addiction, prolonged depression. They exploit cracks in your aura, unhealed wounds, and repeated thought patterns. They whisper subtly in your inner voice, "You're not good enough. Why bother? No one cares." These aren't always your thoughts. They're hijacked frequencies. Scripts implanted to lower your vibration. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes these attachments are inherited. Your energetic field didn't start with you. You carry the unresolved emotions, beliefs, and contracts of your ancestors. This is called ancestral trauma, and it's real. Science now confirms that trauma can be passed epigenetically across generations. But what most studies ignore is the spiritual component. That energetic imprints, patterns of behavior, and even parasitic cords can be transferred through bloodlines. Think about it. Why do entire families suffer from the same patterns? Cycles of addiction, generational poverty, chronic guilt, lifelong fatigue. It's not always bad luck. Sometimes it's an old energetic agreement, a soul contract made long ago, either consciously or unconsciously. Yes, contracts. At some point, perhaps in this life, perhaps in a past one, you may have made a soul-level agreement to carry someone else's pain, to absorb someone else's burden, to stay small, stay quiet, stay invisible. What? Maybe out of love. Maybe out of fear. Maybe because you didn't know better. But guess what? You can cancel those contracts. And now it's time to learn how. The first and most powerful step is sovereign declaration. No entity, no contract, no ancestral pattern has power over you unless you consent to it, and that consent can be revoked. Right now. A simple practice you can begin with. Sit in silence, place your hands over your heart, and speak aloud. I now revoke and dissolve all soul contracts, vows, and energetic bindings that no longer serve my highest good. I reclaim my life force. I reclaim my sovereignty. I am free. Repeat this with full intention. Not once. Not as a trick, but as a command, because words are vibration, and your voice is a tuning fork for your energy field. Next comes cord cutting. Energetic cords are invisible threads that form between you and others, especially in intense relationships, whether loving or toxic. These cords are emotional, psychic, and spiritual in nature. They allow energy to flow back and forth. But when a connection ends, and the cord remains, your energy keeps leaking. To cut these cords, visualize the person or situation in front of you. See the cord connecting you, usually at the solar plexus or heart. Then, using your inner vision, call in a blade of light. It can be a sword, a beam, even the hand of a guide or guardian. Imagine the cord being cleanly severed. Watch the energy return to your body. Feel the power coming back. Then seal the area with light. It's that simple. But it's also profound. Because every time you cut a cord, you reclaim a piece of yourself. And when you repeat this regularly, your field becomes clearer, stronger, more whole. You can enhance this process with rituals and tools. Salt baths, sound bowls, smudging with sage or palo santo, working with protective crystals like black tourmaline or obsidian. These aren't gimmicks. They're amplifiers. They help the subconscious take the process seriously. Your intention, however, is always the true magic. But what about protection going forward? That's where energetic shielding comes in. Just as you lock your doors at night, you must learn to shield your field daily. Not from paranoia, but from sovereignty. One method is the golden light bubble. Each morning, before you engage with the world, close your eyes and imagine a radiant sphere of golden light surrounding your entire body. This light is impenetrable by lower frequencies, but allows love and truth to pass freely. It moves with you. It breathes with you. It's your energetic skin. With time, this shield becomes second nature. You walk through crowds and you don't absorb their chaos. You listen to bad news and it doesn't pierce your peace. You sense manipulation and your field deflects it like armor. And finally, the most advanced protection of all, alignment with purpose. Nothing raises your frequency like living in alignment with your soul's reason for being. When you know who you are, why you're here, and what you stand for, your energy becomes magnetic, clear, untouchable. Parasites can't latch onto a blazing fire. Manipulators can't confuse a grounded heart. So find your purpose. Not a job title, not a role. but the inner truth that makes your soul sing. Maybe it's creating, healing, protecting, teaching. Whatever it is, do more of it. Every act aligned with purpose fortifies your field. This journey is not a trend. It's not a quick fix. It's a revolution of self-awareness. A reclamation of power that was stolen, hidden, forgotten. They can steal your time. They can steal your attention. They can try to steal your energy.